What phrase do you absolutely hate? We need to talk. Obligatory not a. Edit. OMG. Thanks for all the likes. Take me back, and I did something on social media. This isn't necessarily a common phrase, but lately I've been really annoyed by all the city article headlines that go something like, "Child found alive after missing for 5 years and it's our favorite story ever," or, "Certain company refuses to do thing and it's so wrong." These might not be the best examples, but it's sort of the idea where the headline has someone's own personal opinion with an almost childlike inflection added. In these unprecedented times, is everything restored, destroyed faith in humanity? Is everything you've ever needed saved me? They really need to stop this shit. I aggressively block any page on Facebook that uses headlines like this. Also, frock news headlines that tell me why you should be afraid. I'm pretty sick of the news telling me to be afraid of everything. If I can do it, so can you. Thanks for the update. I have an irrational hate of that phrase. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. You have to respect my opinion. No, I don't. You can voice your opinion, and I'm allowed to ignore it, criticize it, debunk it, ridicule it, or think you're a giant as whole for it. You're gonna have to figure something out, usually said to an impossible situation that someone else has caused, but expects me to fix. Often, if 3 people are expecting me in different places at the same time and I tell someone they're just going to have to wait, I don't have to wait. You need to figure something out. No, Karen. I am not exempt from the laws of physics. I'll be with you in a moment. New normal. Does. Would've. And similar count. I cringe every time I see someone write that rather than would have, would've. Edit. A word. There's someone out there for everyone. You'll find someone eventually. Age is just a number. Be yourself. I am. Because I can't help it. But nothing good ever came from that for me. Edit. To be more precise, I think people who are good at controlling themselves, their feelings and what they say, faking etc., are doing much better in their lives, especially at work environment. The customer is always right. No, the frock they aren't. Actually, it's usually the opposite. This being a common phrase just gives us whole customers an excuse to be a dig to minimum wage workers because they think they can get away with it and get whatever they want. Say it louder for the people in the back. Alternative facts. All of them, frock you. Phrases. You never did any good for me. Cool, calm, and collected. I'm so OCD. It's not a phrase but the word. Hubby. Makes me cringe every single time I see or hear it. Don't know why. Sheeple. Often smugly used by other sheeple. Hey, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Makes my skin crawl. Not a phrase but I hate when people say irregardless. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. Yes, it does. That's why tall buildings have lightning rods. I'm sorry you feel that way. It's a non-apology that means nothing. But my narcissistic mother thinks it absolves her of any guilt or blame for the things she does and says. Could care less. When what you mean is that you don't care. Love laugh live. Unprecedented times. Hard choices, tough choices, any synonym thereof uttered by a politician. It always means they're cutting pensions or social programs. It's always seen as brave for politicians to make these choices with other people's money and livelihoods. They're always ready to fight to the last drop of someone else's blood. Interesting that both quotes above are also literal names of books by American politicians. X is my spirit animal, so cringy. Everything happens for a reason. Absolute bullshit. Let that sink in. I did a thing. I also hate the phrase, gotcha day, for pet adoptions. Don't knock it until you've tried it. I don't have to try getting double anal fisted to know I don't want it. Or black tar heroin, etc. You get my point. We work hard and play hard. Expect to be forced to spend every night at the bar with your boss and coworkers kissing his ass. There's a boomer catchphrase in my country that when translated, goes something like, you're only starting the journey, we're already on the way back. They use this to promote their own wisdom and advice, as if their life experiences automatically make them an authority on how the world works. One of my favorite rebuttals to this is a piece of trivia I learned from National Geographic. The top 10 most in-demand jobs of 2010 did not exist in 2004. The world is changing very, very quickly. Say it louder for those in the back. Usually said after some smug frock has said something they find profound but isn't, is what it is. I'd like to throat punch the originator of this verbal clusterfuck. As a depressed person, cheer up is one of the most infuriating things to say. Like no sit, never thought about that. With all due respect, is almost always coupled with an insult or unsolicited advice. You might as well say, prepare to be disrespected. I'm not judgmental, but when people say, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, to conclude a social media video rant on whatever their topic of the day is, it grieves me to have to do this. As said by our Prime Minister whenever he initiates yet more coronavirus restrictions, I agonized spiritually over doing this. Said in the same context, comes a close second. Not a phrase, but Bay is the worst law. I cringe every time I hear it. Do what makes you happy. Biggest life-destroying lie ever. I was today years old. And then they usually go on to say something stupidly obvious like, the actor who played Jake Peralta in Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the same guy who is in The Lonely Island, but generally just the phrase, I was today years old, is annoying on its own. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I'm kinda OCD that way. No. You are not OCD because you like things arranged neatly on a shelf. You would only be OCD if the knowledge that the things were out of order or not perfectly neat prevented you from sleeping at night. Or if you couldn't leave a room without turning the light on and off 6 times. People are so quick to give themselves a horrible, crippling mental illness. It needs to stop. Not a phrase, but Latinx. It's frocking dumb. The vast majority of Latinos don't wanna be called that. Like 80+% according to surveys. It's woke linguistic imperialism. It's saying that the basic structure of the Spanish language is problematic. I hate it. Who watched this in the current year? This is so frocking annoying. Same difference. When I say something like, that's not fair, and people are like, well, life isn't fair, deal with it. Like, yeah, no sit. It's just our ethical responsibility to make it as fair as possible. SMH. Edit. Okay, so I get that we should accept that life isn't always gonna be fair, but what I meant was, don't be an asshole to people with the mindset of life isn't gonna be fair to them, so why should I? And use it to justify being unfair. As a mother, frock you Karen, you don't get a monopoly on compassion. You're not even a very good mother, your kid is a little brat. I hate when people respond online with just this. Edit. Of course I get my first ever Reddit award on my throwaway. Love the responses. Keep this comments coming. This edit is especially entertaining because further up someone is irked by edits for thanking strangers for the award. It's always in the last place you look. Not going to continue looking when I found it, am I? Thoughts and prayers. Typically used by people who haven't actually prayed for decades and have no idea what prayer really means. This. The no one meme. If nobody said nothing, everybody said something. It should be everybody. It is what it is. At the end of the day, now we're cooking with gas, and my absolute most hated. Needless to say, don't say it then. Work hard, play hard. Dumb. Boys will be boys. I'm a boy and it's a sit excuse for any bad thing a male does. Frocking terrible. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Everything happens for a reason. I hate it so much and it just makes me feel angry on top of crappy when someone says it to me. That's it. That's the tweet. I did a thing. Are you working hard or hardly working? It's the insert mindless bullshit. For me. We need to normalize. Customer is always right. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes. Never look at blind monkeys' bumholes when you could be trampolining. Really irks me whenever people say it. I absolutely hate the phrase, welcome to my world. Like, bruh, I didn't ask how your world was doing, I only asked for a tissue so my nose would stop bleeding. First time poster. Long time lurker. How about you just get on with what you're going to say? My toxic trait is, because it's almost never followed by a toxic trait, it's usually something selfless so they can fish for compliments or feign moral superiority. Lives rent free in my head. Holy shit, I'm over this trend. Not a phrase, but I can't fucking stand when someone uses the term hubby instead of husband. It's complicated. Never heard this once in my life where it was actually true. Irregardless, I tend to immediately tune anyone out that says that. Could care less. And all but. Educate yourself. This will get buried in the comments, but people saying that's cringe as an insult. I don't know why this has become a thing, but it makes me cringe every time. Boys don't cry, or you don't have a reason to be sad. I hate you. Like STFU. Thank you, kind sir. If it's meant to be. I was today years old when nobody asked. I can't say I hate them, because I definitely plus consciously do my best not to hate anything. But I hate them, but mon. Typically would hear these on the daily back when I worked soul-crushing retail customer service zombie jobs. 1. Living the dream equals spoken with obvious sarcasm, the smallest amount of fake enthusiasm or barely uttered quietly by someone who hates their job, and maybe their life, has zero passions, and who is mostly dead, just dragging their feet through each day before their actual expiration. 2. Another day in paradise equals always sarcastic, almost always conveying a lack of hope that anything will ever light the speaker's soul on fire with renewed life and vigor. Living your best life, it makes zero sense to me. You don't know until you try. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to enjoy the thing that's having me violently and uncontrollably gagging before I even put it in my mouth. I knew you could do it, usually said by someone who didn't help you achieve it but believes they deserve some of the credit. I did a thing. Frocking stop. Can you go check the back? It's a game changer. Had unconsensual sexual activity with a child. It is rape. Unconsensual isn't even a word FFS. I did a thing. Makes me irrationally angry. Just say what you did without being cutesy. Funny. About it, I have similar feelings towards people calling mundane tasks adulting. Men don't cry. If you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. I could care less. Okay. So how much do you care? A whole lot. Saying you're on a journey, weight loss journey, food journey. I see it everywhere and I don't know why it makes me cringe for them. Feels like it'll be the blessed of the future. In today's economy. Well, thank you for clarifying that. I assumed you were talking about the economy from 1487 by default.